Yo, 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 my people. Welcome back to Live with Fergie. And today we are continuing the Love Island series with episode/day 16. But I'd just like to let you know before I get into the video, be sure to be on the lookout for some other topics that I plan to cover on this channel. Because as you know, there's been a string of Love Island episodes, so be ready for some other content. We need to get other viewers here. Oh, 3 viewers already. Thank you very much. What's up, Callum? Hope you're doing okay. But without further ado, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share for the channel. Hope you're feeling this content. Share with everybody, let people know. Hit me up in social media at MC Fergie for Instagram and Colin123 for Snapchat. But let's get into the video. The hashtags were go large, hashtag extra sauce, hashtag don't make a meal of it. And I'm going to pretty much call this eyes on the fries. So Tommy and Molly repeat their first kiss. The Islanders gas them up. They then walk back holding hands together. Curtis says, I feel like a really proud father. Hi there, John. Hope you're doing okay. Get people more onto this live, okay? Tommy gives Curtis the details of everything he said and explaining the feelings that he expressed for her and etc., etc. All love, all good. Now, Molly May also tells Lucie, Anna, and Elma about how good of a kisser Tommy is, which kind of shocked her, but she was impressed. Yewande, also, this is on a slightly sad note. Yewande gives Anna her concerns about the speed at which she and Danny are progressing, because she feels as if they're moving quite slowly compared to other couples. And ultimately, Anna just does her best to reassure her and let her know, look, you do you, okay? Don't business with anybody else. Now, Yewande then sits with Danny on one of the day beds, and there's this awkward silence for like a good 10 seconds where I don't know if there were actual birds chirping at the time or if it was a case of Love Island said, look, let's edit in some birds chirping, because it was just like tweet, 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 because they were just this, staring into the abyss. Like, I mean, you could hear a pin drop, but that's how silent it was. And then she decided to break the silence and said something along the lines of, if someone came in here tomorrow, would you get to know them? Or would your head be turned? And he basically explains, yeah, I'd get to know them just to be friends and everything, but not on a romantic level. And ultimately, we see that Yewande's got a bunch of insecurities, but Danny's determined to fight for her and help her out. And she admits she's holding back, but she can't understand why she is holding back. And she realizes these are insecurities that she just needs to somehow work on by herself. And Danny figures, you know what, let me give her 1 to 2 days to sort of just figure things out. Now, Tom has caught himself into a love triangle. Okay, he likes Elma and he likes Maura, and they are 2 completely different women. Now, Maura and Elma then chat, and they basically reevaluate Elma's change of heart. I don't know why I did quotation signs. That's my own personal opinion. Okay, so they change her change of heart. Now, neither of them want to be in this love triangle that they found themselves in. And ultimately, after going back and forth with each other, Maura just basically pours out her feelings and talks about how, oh, girl code, this and etc., that. And then Elma decides to apologize. They hug it out, move on. Maura's confused at the end, and she's unsure about trusting Elma again. Now, Molly May tells Maura about the kiss with Tommy, and she goes, ooh, jealous, but then, nah, joking, I'm happy for you, happy for you. But then also downstairs, sort of like outside on one of the day beds, I think, Tommy and Lucie begin to discuss, okay, yeah. So when everybody's heading to sleep, Tommy was just talking to Lucie just across from the beds, and Lucie basically assured him, look, Molly May was bigging you up and the kiss, she was impressed. And then he was just like, ooh, if that was impressive, she should see when he was like, she should see when the lights are low. And I'm telling you, Lucie had this cringe moment, her laugh. I'm hoping I don't think this is her proper laugh, but you know how some people can have multiple laughs? This was definitely a weird one. I'm telling you, she sounded like a chipmunk, super high pitched. It was like, I have no idea where that came from, okay? But then, moving on, Molly May asks how Elma is. So this is the next day. And Elma's basically convinced that Maura's being hypocritical. Now, Lucie chats to Maura, and Maura basically explains, look, I'm out of my comfort zone. Danny seeks advice from Curtis about Yewande, and Ian Sterling decided to use his classic line, when in doubt, etc., 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 seek help from a professional ballroom dancer. And I can't really do his accent, so I apologize for that. And Danny basically explains that he feels there's a barrier between himself and Yewande. So he's going to give her 1 to 2 days of space for that. And I think I mentioned that previously. Now, Maura consults Anton, and she feels bad for, oh my God. I've read this about the wrong person. So Elma consults Anton whilst they're at the pool, okay? And she basically explains that she feels bad for not backing herself up because she feels as if she just let Maura just lay everything on her, and then she was just like, oh yeah, I'll roll over, basically. Now, Anton feels he's in a weird position because he's discussing with the girl that he's coupled with about a dude who's thinking about cracking on with her, and he's just like, just shows what kind of luck I've got in here, you know? Now, Maura sits by the fireplace with Tom, and from what I got from it, it looks as if she was digging for dirt, trying to find something to be able to complain about Maura, complain about Elma. But then at the same time, she was talking about how, yeah, me and her are cool now, we chatted, everything's all good, sort of thing. Now, we then move on to Jordan and Anna, and he decides to let her know that her eyes actually match her bathing suit, the bikini. And Anna gets really excited. And in the booth, she's saying there's definitely a click. I mean, even when we just look at each other, I think we both feel there's a good connection there, a good bond. And she's excited to get more romantic coffees. Now, Molly May, okay, we transition to Molly May rubbing a hell of a lot of sun cream on Tommy. Like, at first I thought she was giving him like a massage around the abdominal and chest area. But then she explains, oh, I'm like a mum putting all this sun cream on you. And I was just like, my God, what is happening? Okay. But then I think Tom got a text. Yeah, I think Tom got a text. And we are then presented with the challenge. Eyes on the fries. Yes, eyes on the fries. And the objective of this challenge is for the boys to collect food in their mouths, pass it on to their partners, the women, and then the women are meant to create some sort of fast food meal incorporating, I think it was like 4 burgers and 4 fries and then 2 milkshakes, if I remember correctly. And the people who did it the best won. And like when I tell you, this challenge was grim. God, this challenge was something else. Like, this was nasty. Like, I even felt sorry for Tommy. Imagine, he was pumping all this mustard into his mouth, tries to pass it on to Molly May, and Molly May's like, no, I'm not taking that. I'm not, that's not going in my mouth. And I was just like, what? Like, that man's just gone through all that. And on top of that, Maura and Tom, they were just at it. Like, when I tell you, this girl was not afraid to lock lips no matter what was in his mouth. It was just suction. And then she put it in, like, she was making sure nothing's dropped. And then I was impressed with Curtis. He was able to actually fit an entire burger in his mouth, like both parts of the bun, and then pass it on to Amy. But ultimately, Michael and Amber, they got off scot-free. They got to be the judges. And Tom and Maura won. So we later return to the villa, where Tom and Maura basically just quickly speak over their victory on a daybed. Oh, nice. We got 4 likes. Thank you very much, people. Get more people to the live. Yeah, so they speak over their victory. And then Alma just politely walks over and says, look, could I have a chat with Maura? And when I tell you, this was literally a heated discussion, because I put here, man, Alma put Maura in her place, just talking about, you can't talk about girl code. I mean, don't you remember what you did to Molly May? And basically, Maura's whole defense is this idea that, yes, they may have been coupled up, but they were definitely not together. I mean, she hadn't made up her mind, which then put Tommy into a state where he was looking for anything else, sort of thing. So she sort of tried to back herself up. But whilst this is going on, the girls, well, some of the girls, I got Amber, Yewande, and Amy, they start talking about how Maura can't be selective with how girl code applies. Like, you can't just decide to use it as what as and whenever it's convenient for you, which I can agree with. It's just like guy code or bro code. I don't know what we men call it, Now, Elma and Maura, they basically clear the air and they put it behind them. Oh, nice. 3 people here. Thank you very much. Now, the girls reassure Yewande because she's basically just in this state where she's finding it difficult to trust and to sort of like let things go so that there can be progression, Now, Joe chats to Lucie. And I don't know why this was involved, to be honest, but basically he starts talking about how much he regrets letting other people's opinions influence him, and then trying to talk about how he didn't trust her again, but now he realizes, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, and I trust you now. And the thing is, throughout all of this, I was hoping for him to say, I'm sorry, or I apologize, but he was just mulling over things, and I was just like, where's the apology at, man? Like, at least say, I'm sorry for letting all of this happen, not just, I regret it, And ultimately, he says, you're like a unicorn. And I think that's to determine how unique she is. And he admits, I've definitely fallen for you. Yeah, I've definitely fallen for you. And you will definitely be my girlfriend. And they eventually end their conversation with one of their long kisses. But the drama begins when the Flack is back, when Caroline Flack enters. Must say, the blonde hair, I'm liking it though. Caroline, if you ever see this video, hit me up. I think I could do Ian Sterling's job commentating. Trust me. Ian, hit me up. Now, she enters into the villa and you can see nobody's happy. Everybody's just like, oh my God, something is about to go down. And I had to get this down. So she basically asked, is everybody happy or whatever? And then Anton's just like, no, go away. And then she says, okay, let's all gather around the fire pit. And the bottom line is, she dishes the dirt. She lets them know about how the votes have been collated for the least compatible couples. And obviously, we all know this. The safe couples, introduced in this order, Amber and Michael, Amy and Curtis, since they got no votes, Yewande and Danny, Molly May and Tommy, which meant the 2 couples left vulnerable were Joe and Lucie and Anton and Elma. But then, as we also found out, surprisingly, very shockingly, we got to save one islander from each couple rather than dumping an entire couple, which everybody was thinking, because you can see on their faces, they're just like, oh God, so the people who got the most votes, our couple's about to leave. And then Caroline just hit them with that bombshell. And ultimately saved by the public. I'm so glad my votes went through. Anton and Lucie. And honestly, I believe those are the 2 to be saved, because even though Elma hasn't had much chance, she didn't really make things clear with Maura, and I can understand she's not entirely in the wrong, but at the same time, I sort of didn't trust her. I mean, you're talking about how Anton's husband material, and you're not interested in this model, but all of a sudden the model says, I'm interested in you, and oh yes, I'm keeping my options open. Like, I just didn't really agree with that, but feel free to put your opinions in the comments. Let's talk things out, And then Lucie, I don't believe Joe is good for her. I don't see that happening. Like, I really don't see that working on the outside. Now, after this is announced, there are 2 group hugs of sadness, literally just split off. And Maura lets Elma know how gutted she is. And later on, Lucie basically obsessively cries over Joe, like in the daybed, talking about, I'll never meet anybody like you. And I don't even know how to reiterate the words, But he hit us with this. He says he promises to wait for her on the outside. He's just like, I promise I'll be waiting for you. And I was just like, listen, you don't know what you're saying. Like, do you know the England you're coming back to? Do you know that once you go on Love Island, it's overnight success, overnight fame, celebrity, instantaneous. And we get, it is what it is again, from Joe. Now, we then get a little preview into tomorrow night's episode, where we find out Lucie's quite indecisive about what to do. And we don't know who this mystery person is, but she says, the only people I trust in here are you and Anton. My money is on she's speaking to Tommy at that moment, just because of how well they get on and the fact that she doesn't really speak with any of the girls. So I'm guessing she only trusts Tommy and Anton. But that brings us to the end of the notes. I'm hoping you've enjoyed. Please let me know in the comments, what do you think is going to happen? Like, will Lucie leave? Will Lucie stay? Is she trying to figure out what Joe's going to do on the outside? Do you think Joe will actually wait for her? Let me know. But until then, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Click whatever video I place. As you know, there's been videos going along in the info cards. Feel free to click them, see previous episodes that I've done, and be ready for some more content on hot trending topics. Can't speak. Hot trending topics. But until then, peace and God bless.